All right, guys, welcome back to another episode. My name is Couri, addiction counselor and student nurse currently. I wanted to make this video all around the fentanyl epidemic, more zooming in on why this is such a problem and why this is causing death at a rate that recovery centers can't even understand and comprehend. So we're going to start off by, I just want to explain why fentanyl is doing this. So, the main action of all drugs is to get to that brain. Once it gets to the brain, it's going to have that action that all these drugs have. So with fentanyl, it's got lots of cyclical structures. What that allows is our blood-brain barrier that separates our body from our brain. The drug wants to get through that because once it gets through that, it's allowed to affect its action. So these structures that are found in fentanyl, which I have a video here and a picture for you guys to take a look at, it shows that these structures are fatty, which the blood-brain barrier allows substances to go through that are fatty. So these structures allow it to get right through to the brain where it affects these actions. And when that happens, the respiratory rate drops very quickly. And as you know, the overdose takes place. So the first thing that we're taking a look at here is all around these press pills. Now what we're seeing more and more at our recovery centers, people are buying Percocet, Xanax, drugs that they think are safe. They take that drug and they very quickly realize this is not what they thought. Xanax is causing overdoses, not because of Xanax, but because they're taking fentanyl and they're pressing it to make it look like Xanax when it's pure fentanyl. And this problem is something that just because these drugs are illegal in our country, the cartels, they're moving these drugs at a rate so quick that they're finding that Percocet, Xanax, all of these painkillers, all of these things that used to just be the drug are being corrupted with fentanyl, as well as methamphetamine. The people we have who are using meth, we're finding more and more of them are testing positive for fentanyl. So once again, this problem is stemming out. As it used to just be fentanyl, it's now reaching out into painkillers, into benzos, into barbiturates, and even methamphetamine, a whole different opposite mechanism of action with this drug. So very, very, very scary to think that as fentanyl takes off, it's corrupting these other drugs that have whole different actions on our brain. So this chart, this is a chart I had in a previous video. If you guys haven't seen that video, please go watch it. Very, very key stuff in that. But for this chart, I just want to blow this up once again to show that the death rates from fentanyl are so high. You're talking about a drug that is killing on average 30,000 people a year. That is out of this world high. And you got to remember, these numbers are only reported. You've got unreported numbers that they think are 5 to 10 times higher of, people just dying. They show up at the morgue and they don't pull the blood and lab work to find out why they died. So it's very, very problematic that our numbers aren't even a direct reflection of the truth in the deaths. So once again, we're taking a look at state by state what's happening. Every state is, certain states, particularly like Ohio, Pennsylvania, West Virginia, have shown that the overdose deaths have dropped. Now, the reason for this is not because the problem is getting better. It's very easy to look at this chart and be like, wow, blue states, they're getting better. Dang, how are we solving this? The truth is, we've moved so much Narcan through these states that we're better able to get to these people, to hit them with Narcan, bring them back so they're not dying. So is the problem really getting better? We've got less overdose deaths, but more overdoses. It's a very controversial topic, and I'd love, love, love to hear what you guys think about it. So moving right along, we've got, this carfentanil stuff, you guys, just to give you a great outlook on this. Carfentanil is So fentanyl, we measure all opioids against the strength of morphine. So morphine is very, very powerful in itself. That's what we give in hospitals for surgical patients. Now, to take a very close look, fentanyl is 100 times stronger than morphine. Very, very potent, 100 times. Wow. Carfentanil, the sister of fentanyl, is 10,000 times stronger than morphine. 10,000 times stronger than morphine. I mean, come on. That's the doomsday of us all to think about a drug that is so strong. If you take a look here, we've got carfentanil on this little penny that is absolutely out of this world. I mean, a tiny speck of it. You could imagine just walking down the street, inhale a little bit of that. Your respiratory system fails like that. And more alarmingly than that is people don't know, oh my God, that person passed out. Maybe they got a condition. Maybe they've got a disease. The last thing someone's thinking is they might have just inhaled some carfentanil. And that is how these drugs are progressing. I talk a lot about this in group as the human condition. We're always on to that next thing. The iPhone, what are we on? The iPhone 10, 11, 12. We can't just stop at 2, 3, for. We're always on to that next thing. And the drug culture, the drug community is seeing the same evolution with these drugs. It was heroin, then it's fentanyl. Now it's gone to carfentanil. And you guys, the amount of carfentanil we are seeing is going up and up and up. And as this takes off, we have no way to combat it. Just to share a personal story that I saw at my clinical last week, we had this girl come in, brought her daughter in. 17-year-old daughter passed out, no idea what was happening. So very quickly we assessed, looked for puncture marks, something that might have given us a sign as to what's going on. Immediately we saw that this girl had a needle mark on her arm. So we found a pulse, but she was not breathing. So we got an ambu bag on her, started doing the artificial breathing, hit her with Narcan 5 times. Now by that agency's protocol, we could stop there. The mom was so emotional though, her 17-year-old girl, if you could imagine, was lying almost dead. So we continued to hit her with Narcan, hit her 17 total times. It did not bring that girl back. Pulled her blood from the lab work and it was found to have carfentanil in it. So an absolutely horrifying situation to think that we've created a drug, carfentanil, that it's not even touched by Narcan. Narcan cannot save this drug. Now this isn't the case for every time, but just to think a 17-year-old girl, could have been saved, but because that drug that she was using had that carfentanil in it, that's over. That's a wrap for that woman. And it's very sad to see that these deaths are going to continue to rise, continue to go up. So we need an all-hands-on-deck approach, which brings me to my last slide, is how do we fix this? So guys, we are actually very, very behind this problem. Everybody who thinks that it's getting better, it's getting, the problem's being contained, it's being underscored is very, very false. We are at a time right now where these drugs, they are growing, they are evolving, they're getting to a point where they're not only the just drug alone, but they're being corrupted by each other. Meth is in opiates, opiates is in meth, Xanax is pressed fentanyl. I mean, everything has been such a mushmash of everything that we have no idea what we're even taking now. And to even be more scared than that is our younger generation, our younger kids. They're getting more into these synthetic drugs like K2, all these drugs that potentiate that problem in that child's future they're truly blowing up. So what we can do, firstly, we need to crush this stigma behind mental health. We're going to be making more videos around stigma and how to deal with it. So real quick, I just wanted to outline, stigma is something that attacks it's that automatic mindset that someone says, hey, I'm in recovery. And when you say that, it almost puts that, oh, wow, that's a drug addict. That's someone who abuses drugs. They're in recovery, but are they really? So that automatic mindset, we need to get rid of that immediately by creating this stigma, by telling people that, hey, you're in recovery, you should keep that quiet, because if I allow that to be heard, I'm going to get all these judgments. I'm going to get all these negative things about you. We need to get rid of that, you guys. Recovery is amazing. I can't tell you guys all the stories which we will be sharing in the future, but all these stories of these people, they've gone from this person who's stealing, lying, cheating, doing all these horrible things that the drug is truly fueling, and they get away from that drug and it's a whole different person. They go back to that personality, that recovery mindset of I can be better, I can improve my life, I can grow, I can connect, I can bond, I can live again. So we need to do that. So MAT, medication-assisted treatment, something we do utilize at our facility, gets a lot of blowback. We are going to be making more videos, but you guys, it's so important to realize that with this disease, we need all hands on deck. I don't care if you got to move to a mountain to become a monk. You do what you got to do to get that recovery mindset, and we should be embracing that. We need supportive environments, supportive communities that say it's okay to admit you have a drug addiction, but let's get you into the place where you can get help, and we don't care what that is, whether it's MAT, whether it's a lifestyle change, whether it's straight sobriety and not using anything. What works for you, what gets you away from this drug plague, is going to not only be good for you, but the people around you. Because once again, this problem of addiction, it's not just these people affected. It goes to the communities, to society, to the whole country, to a level that affects everything that we could possibly imagine. So these are the things we need to do, and also encouraging others to be open about their recovery. Nobody in their right mind has the power to say, hey, you know what? You're going to be sober and you're going to go into recovery. Good. Be quiet about it. No, open that up. The biggest part of recovery is saying, this is what I've been through. This is what I've learned. This is how I've grown, and you can do it too. Thank you guys. Until next time. Guys, I just want to say thank you from the bottom of my heart for watching this video that we put out. You know, there's been a lot of talk on how to do this, so we're attacking it now and kind of learning along the way. So I really do. I invite your feedback. I want to know what you guys want to see, what you want to learn. Please like, comment, subscribe. I want to know what you think so we can put out content that we can all grow from, we can all learn from. Okay? So please, whether you're a clinician, whether you're someone who's looking for recovery, reach out, go to our website, clinic5.com. Please get involved. I don't care who you are. If you are interested in this field and want to leave an impact or change your life, this is the facility to do it with. So please let us know. We would love to hear back. Thank you.